I can't.
He pay for it. I can't. I guarantee it.
Calm down. Calm down, bro.
Lamont Roach shot the world. What do you think happens in a rematch if they fight?
I think he shocks.
Time, I think Roach fought at his peak. You know, I don't think he can fight better than that.
But
move that has stirred the boxing world, Gervonta Davis has publicly fired back at his former promoter and mentor, Floyd Mayweather Jr., after the boxing legend showed. Support for Lamont Roach ahead of Davis's highly anticipated rematch with Roach. Davis's fiery response signals escalating tensions not only between him and Roach, but also with Mayweather, reigniting a long-standing feud rooted in their complex history within Mayweather Promotions. Once seen as the crown jewel of Mayweather's stable, Davis was personally mentored by the undefeated champion and hailed as the next big pay-per-view star. The two shared a close bond, with Mayweather often cornering Davis during fights, showering him with gifts, and promoting him as boxing's future. However, as Davis grew more independent, cracks in their relationship began to show, marked by micromanagement complaints, miscommunications, and public disputes. In 2022, Davis parted ways with Mayweather Promotions to manage his career more independently under PBC. Now, in 2025, he is preparing for one of the most personal fights of his career, a rematch with Lamont Roach, a slick technician and former Mayweather-advised fighter. Their first bout ended in controversy, and Roach has since demanded redemption, setting the stage for a high-stakes showdown.
Tank want a rematch. Do you let me know now? Do you want to fight Tank again? He said he open to do a rematch. Do you want to fight Tank
100%.
again?
It's only a matter of time. We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight again. It's just whenever the fight gonna happen.
So it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Okay. They say they want it in New York again. Do you want to fight again in the Barclays Center?
I wouldn't mind, but I'd love for it to be in DC.
Okay.
I love for it to be in DC.
Turn earlier this week when Floyd Mayweather publicly voiced his support for Lamont Roach during an Instagram live session. Though his words were measured, they were perceived as a sharp jab by Gervonta Davis, who saw the gesture as a personal betrayal from someone he once regarded as a father figure. Never one to hold back, Davis fired back with a scathing post and later doubled down in a follow-up interview with Showtime Boxing, saying, "Floyd's been hating, man." The emotional outburst highlights how deeply personal this upcoming fight has become. It's no longer just about titles or rankings. It's now a battle for pride, loyalty, and redemption. From a psychological standpoint, Mayweather's endorsement of Roach may be part of a mind game, intentional or not, that puts Davis under intense public and internal pressure. Known for fighting with raw emotion, Davis must stay focused to ensure his performance isn't clouded by personal grievances. For Roach, on the other hand, Mayweather's backing is a strategic boost, adding credibility to his camp, elevating his profile ahead of the pay-per-view clash, and mentally positioning him as the favored contender against a superstar with everything
Lamont
to lose.
acting like he won.
This latest chapter in the Davis-Mayweather saga is more than a typical boxing feud. It's a reflection of broken mentorship, generational pride, and the ruthless individualism that defines the sport.
We did how many rounds? We fight there at least 8 straight.
Yeah, but you in the bag for about 8 too.
Yeah.
Let's go. You know.
Roach and Gervonta Davis are finally set to run it back. Boxing Scene has confirmed that their WBA lightweight title rematch is officially scheduled to headline the August 16th PBC on Prime Video pay-per-view card. While TGB Promotions currently has the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas reserved for the event, the final venue has yet to be confirmed. Matthew Bellini Brown of Brunch Boxing was the first to report the rematch date on March 1st. Roach and Davis previously fought to a majority draw at Brooklyn's Barclays Center, a venue initially considered to host the rematch when it was, being targeted for mid to late June. However, current expectations strongly favor Las Vegas, with either T-Mobile Arena or MGM Grand Garden Arena likely to land the event. As the rematch nears, Terence Crawford weighed in on the potential outcome during an interview with Ring Champs with O and Barack. He expressed doubt that Roach could improve upon his last performance, suggesting that while fans might see a sharper, more aggressive version of Davis, Roach may have already fought at his peak. Crawford acknowledged that Roach might still have Tank's number, but emphasized that it doesn't mean Davis will fight the same way. He noted that Davis needs to let his hands go more, pointing out that in the first fight, Tank often threw just 1 or 2 shots, even when Roach was blocking, and stressed that Davis must increase his output and throw combinations to tip the mental battle in his favor. Scene has revealed that the Davis versus Roach rematch is just one of at least 3 major events PBC has lined up in the coming months. July 19th is shaping up as the likely date for the much-anticipated WBC welterweight title clash between Mario Barrios and boxing legend Manny Pacquiao. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, efforts are underway to secure an opponent for undefeated 2 division. Champion and current WBC light heavyweight title holder David Benavidez, with plans emerging for a headline fight later this year, likely in October or November. The first encounter between Davis and Roach sparked intense debate, ending in a majority draw with scores of 115-113 for Davis and 2 even cards of 114-114, an outcome many analysts agreed accurately reflected the action. Still, controversy swirled around the 9th round, when Roach landed a crisp jab that caused Davis to pause, glance at referee Steve Willis, and drop to a knee. No knockdown was ruled, and in an unusual twist, Davis was allowed to call his own. Timeout as co-trainer Calvin Ford entered the ring mid-round to wipe away what was claimed to be hair product affecting Davis's vision. While Willis issued only a warning, critics argued Davis's actions warranted disqualification, especially since cornermen are barred from entering the apron mid-round unless called by the ref. The New York State Athletic Commission was unable to access instant replay in time due to not retrieving footage from the Prime Video production truck, further complicating the incident. As a result, Roach lost that round on 2 official scorecards. Despite stepping up in weight and entering as a heavy underdog, Roach battled to a moral victory and won over fans with his gritty, high-level performance, even as the crowd of 19,500 voiced its disapproval of the draw. Determined to settle the score, Roach confirmed that both camps are contractually committed to the rematch and stated, "Man, I'm so excited, it's part 2, and it's time to boogie once again." Though he couldn't confirm the official date, his team had filed a formal protest after the first bout, which the NYSAC reviewed, acknowledging the missed knockdown but letting the original result stand. As Davis prepares for the rematch, his typically silent camp has yet to confirm who will lead the corner, after Barry Hunter took charge during the first fight. Roach, guided by his father Lamont Roach Sr., remains unfazed. "Whoever's in. His corner might try to adjust, but we're ready to take that belt," he said, promising to return with more tools, versatility, and the will of a warrior. Roach believes many close rounds were wrongly scored for Davis, claiming Tank didn't do enough. Having faced Davis twice as an amateur, Roach insisted that mental confidence was on his side from the start. "I've seen his skills. I'll never knock him," he said, "but I want to be among the elite too, and my rematch performance will prove I belong." He added confidently, "And when I win, I can't wait to tell the world. I told you so." Even boxing legend Roy Jones Jr. weighed in, praising Roach and saying he's capable of shocking the world again. But he also predicted Davis will return with a new mindset, more focused and more motivated, making this rematch one of the year's most compelling shows.
First fight, Lamont Roach shot the world. What do you think happens in a rematch if they fight?
I think he shocks the world again, but the only thing different this time is Tank will come with a different attitude, different personality, different motivation, and I think Roach will do good again, but I think Tank will be more dominant.
Davis no longer boasts a perfect record. Roach isn't satisfied with just a draw. He's been demanding an immediate rematch. However, Davis appears to have other plans first, suggesting that Roach will need to wait for the sequel. Still, Roach remains confident their paths will cross again. "I see why he knocks people out," he said. "I can see why." Despite no clean shots landing on Roach's chin during the first bout, he doesn't underestimate Davis's explosive potential and fully expects Tank to keep racking up highlight reel knockouts. As the tension builds, Davis and Roach are already in advanced negotiations to finalize the rematch for this summer, following not only a fierce battle in the ring, but also weeks of drama out.
Was that good? It would just take the right fighter to pick him apart, to be honest. Someone who had high activity and wasn't afraid of his power. So I always saw so many holes in his game. So to me, it wasn't that
knockdown in their first fight and criticized Davis's mindset. Tank gave him too much respect, talking about retiring, talking about the money. That wasn't the same Gervonta we know. Despite a controversial 9th round, where Davis voluntarily took a knee without a knockdown call, the March fight ended in a majority draw. Davis retained his WBA lightweight belt, but the ending left fans divided. Promoter Eddie Hearn further fueled speculation, stating Davis could face Jake Paul in November, possibly pushing the Roach rematch aside entirely. Boxing legend Tony Bellew, however, still backs Davis. Tank's one of the best-thinking fighters in the world. He just needs to block out the noise and focus on boxing. If he stays grounded, he'll figure Roach out. Still, Bellew acknowledged Roach's frustration and declared, "When you're the away fighter and still get a draw on a home show, it tells you everything." As the summer approaches, one thing is clear. Fans are on the edge of their seats. Whether it's Davis versus Roach 2, Davis versus Jake Paul, or Davis versus Shakur Stevenson, the next chapter promises fireworks. That's all for today's video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more exclusive boxing breakdowns, only on Boxing Force. Catch you in the next one. In a move that has stirred the boxing world, Gervonta Davis has publicly fired back at his former promoter and mentor, Floyd Mayweather Jr., after the boxing legend showed. Support for Lamont Roach ahead of Davis's highly anticipated rematch with Roach. Davis's fiery response signals escalating tensions not only between him and Roach, but also with Mayweather, reigniting a long-standing feud rooted in their complex history within Mayweather Promotions. Once seen as the crown jewel of Mayweather's stable, Davis was personally mentored by the undefeated champion and hailed as the next big pay-per-view star. The two shared a close bond, with Mayweather often cornering Davis during fights, showering him with gifts, and promoting him as boxing's future. However, as Davis grew more independent, cracks in their relationship began to show, marked by micromanagement complaints, miscommunications, and public disputes. In 2022, Davis parted ways with Mayweather Promotions to manage his career more independently under PBC. Now, in 2025, he is preparing for one of the most personal fights of his career, a rematch with Lamont Roach, a slick technician and former Mayweather-advised fighter. Their first bout ended in controversy, and Roach has since demanded redemption, setting the stage for a high-stakes showdown fueled by personal history and professional pride. Our interview. Things took an unexpected turn earlier this week when Floyd Mayweather publicly voiced his support for Lamont Roach during an Instagram live session. Though his words were measured, they were perceived as a sharp jab by Gervonta Davis, who saw the gesture as a personal betrayal from someone he once regarded as a father figure. Never one to hold back, Davis fired back with a scathing post and later doubled down in a follow-up interview with Showtime Boxing, saying, "Floyd's been hating, man." The emotional outburst highlights how deeply personal this upcoming fight has become. It's no longer just about titles or rankings. It's now a battle for pride, loyalty, and redemption.